come on, do it, Waterwalk. I was binging the show for like 4 days just to hear you say it.
Crusher,
What do you want, you buffoon? No, please, God, no! It can't be! I don't know how she will respond. Wait, I got an idea. A8.
miss.
Blunderbuss, can I ask you something?
Yeah, what? Don't you see I'm kinda busy here? Before.
You sunk my battleship! How are you doing that?
Wait, what is a con doing here?
Never mind. Can you use your signal boosting power for a second?
Okay. So Octopunch, like every week?
Yeah.
Don't forget to polish your helmet, so I can see your boat easier.
What?
I hate my job.
Shut up!
Hi all, Sylvas here, and welcome to my review of Transformers Titans Return, Broadside and Blunderbuss.
Pinned down one time too many by Astro Train and Blitzwing, the Autobots build their own triple changers.
Autobot triple changers battling the triple changers of the Decepticons.
Sorry that I'm a little late on this video. I'm having some changes in the furniture in my room, but I shouldn't talk about that. I should talk about today's review, Titans Return, Broadside and Blunderbuss. Okay, but before I actually get into the review, I want to thank all of the people that suddenly appeared after I posted that dumb Broadside meme from Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, or any other part of the internet. Thank you, and I wish you will all stay here for the future reviews. Released in the year 2017 in the Voyager class of toys, Broadside is the first upgrade of this character since 1986. And if you look at the original G1 toy, he needed that. Broadside's personality is that he is a gigantic loser. He turns into both a jet plane and an aircraft carrier, while also being afraid of heights and getting seasick. This is kind of a comedic irony with him, but since he sometimes is a part of Wreckers, he doesn't spend a lot of time in his old mode, since he's busy beating up cons. But as big of a loser he is, he's also known from his gigantic bravery and size. Yeah, Broadside is known for being a pretty big boy. Now, Blunderbuss is a Titan Master. Titan Masters were small robots that were sent out into space by Cybertronians to spread their knowledge and technology, and they aren't headmasters! I would now go on a really long paragraph where I explain the differences and some of my headcanon, but I don't want to bore all of you. Each Titan Master has special abilities: data stealing, gravity control, shrinking, a red Nar, which they can share between bigger bots by connecting as their heads. Blunderbuss's power is, well, it's kinda complicated. As you saw in the opening sketch, it's strengthening up radars and sensors. That's if you base yourself on the Titan Master Crunch box. But if you look at the toy bio, it says Blunderbuss has the powers of size changing. I don't know why they changed it. Maybe they wanted to make it more realistic or less overpowered. Or maybe because size changing is a pretty normal thing for Transformers. And it would be kinda useless for characters like Broadside, who is already known for changing his size. In my headcanon, he normally gives the powers of size changing to normal bots, but since Broadside is already gigantic, he only gives him powers of sonars. Okay, now let's get in the toy. Before I begin the review, I just want to mention I did little customization with mine Broadside. I flipped over the tail fins on his legs. I wanted to turn them back around for the sake of the review, but they are made from the clear plastic, so I was kinda scared that they will simply snap when I try to do it. So, in robot mode, Broadside is really wide, as the name implies. In my opinion, it kinda matches with the idea of a gigantic stocky body, And it matches with him being part of the Wreckers, who are mostly known for either being anime heroes or giant buff dudes. Now thinking, he could kinda be the silent cute big guy trope. I really like all the details that suggest both of his modes, like the wings on his back, also the tail fins on his legs, but also this shoulder radar. Talking about the shoulders, instructions show him with those top hinges moved down, but I prefer to leave them up since it looks better. But at least if you move them down, you have a 5-meter hole, so you can weaponize Broadside with even more guns. Not gonna lie, I would love to see a 3D printed, like a rocket launcher that simply clamps onto here. Some people say that his color scheme is boring. I don't mind it that much. It gives him a militaristic and a hard, tough guy feel. But maybe I would enjoy it more if they changed the head from this boring grey to the gunmetal grey they had on the prototypes. While Blunderbuss, he is a typical Titan Master. Body type is similar, color scheme too, to his giant partner. I don't know if his design is based on anything. It would be cool if it was based on the beta cartoon model. Now let's get into his accessory. This gigantic seed gun. By the way, let me add some new headcanon. In my opinion, depending on what Titan Master is mounted here, it changes the type of ammunition it shoots. For example, Blunderbuss would either shoot some gigantifying rays or sonar beams. But that's not the only thing he has. He also comes with a set of aerial bots. I kinda need to show them on my arms since my background is also white and they wouldn't be that easy to see. They are supposed to be aerial bots in their Combiner Wars based alt modes. They are pretty cool with some nice details, but I will talk about them later when we get into the alt mode. Sadly, Broadside doesn't come with his axe that the G1 toy had. I kinda don't get it why this gigantic bloke would run around with an axe that's the size of a toothpick for him. But, I don't know, you can like take a Combiner Wars first aid mold axe and use it for him. It doesn't look that bad. Now thinking, it kinda looks okay. It gives him that badass barbarian feel, especially combined with the visor eyes and the weird ear clamps, which kinda now remind me of the original Dino Megazord. Like, the only thing he needs to do is have flashing eyes when they pop out. Some people say that this Broadside toy is a little too small, and this card is supposed to tower over all the Autobots that are on like Omega Supreme. I personally don't mind it. It seems that this toy was made as a partner to Thrilling 30 Sandstorm and Springer. Now, if I could actually speak about some issues that I do actually care. Why are all the accessories made from translucent blue plastic? Even the aerial bots. Like, look at them. You could kind of see a little of the blue chipped from the white paint. Like, it's really awful since we know that translucent plastic is really fragile. For example, mine's slingshot wing snapped when I tried to remove him from the plastic sprue that they all came on. Also, since we are still in the accessory topic, while I was making this video, I noticed this really weirdly placed 5mm port. And yes, this is Siege compatible. Now let's compare Broadside with Thrilling 30 Sandstorm, Siege Smashdown, and my boy Magazine Bumblebee. Now, let's get into the articulation. Let's start off from the top, and by that I mean from Blunderbuss. Here's a typical Titan Master with a typical Titan Master articulation. a ball joint in the head, ball joints in the arms, and double hinge in the legs. Now Broadside, he can rotate his head, that can kinda move up and down. Arms can rotate, but you need to flip out of the wing for it to happen. Arms can go side to side, bend in the elbow, and rotate in the bicep. He doesn't have any waist swivel, which is kinda sad. Earlier I was trying to put him in some cool poses where he like fights Astro Train while swinging around Smashdown, and it made him hard to do any cool poses. There is a hinge in the leg and rotation forward, and in theory back, but the gigantic backpack kinda blocks it. There is a knee, and foot can move on a hinge. It could kinda move forward, but due to the mod with the tail fins, it's kinda hard for it. I don't mind it that much, it makes them look like armored shins. Broadside posability is kinda limited, but it does its job. Still, my biggest issues are with the shoulders and the lack of weight swivel. Now let's get in the ult mode that makes him sick, the aircraft carrier. Transformation into the ship mode isn't that complicated, it's mostly just folding down some panels, laying him down, and trying not to show his underside. Now, let's have the aircraft carrier's biggest sin. It's those gigantic foil stickers. They are my biggest issue with Broadside. Especially this one, since it's also the wing, so this sticker loves to shape off. I think I will need to like glue it up, if you can see the sides of it. I know it would probably be hard to paint in all those details, but couldn't those stickers be a little bit stronger? And not some foily, since they are now glaring on the video from what I see. Or they could release them unapplied, like the toy could come with a sticker sheet, so you can choose which stickers you want on and which don't. So I heard that those little legs on the downside, they love to slip down. I didn't have those issues, except when I was transforming him. Then he kind of moved down because I was putting way too much pressure on it. But I can imagine how with time they will misshape a little, so it will be harder to do it. Also, another trouble I have, there is no logical way to store Blunderbuss in this mode. You can maybe put him down in this cockpit to represent like some bridge that is underwater, or you can like make him a communication king by sitting him down here. This kinda works, but not that much. Now let's talk about how the accessories work for this mode. For first, we have all the aerial bots that were probably designed just for the sake of this mode. They have a bunch of little ports that you can plug them into. I don't mind it that much. It's okay. Also, you can take this seed gun and mount it here. This would be a pretty big artillery if it would be in scale. I don't mind all those gimmicks that much. This kinda gives it a playset vibe. You know that if I would have full size aerial bots, I would maybe do like some animation of them starting off and landing, but that's too much money. Now let's compare this Broadside with Frankfurt's Sandstorm car mode and Siege Smashdown's hammer mode. And of course, my boy's Magazine Bumblebee. So, in my opinion, ship mode is okay. It looks odd, but if you stare at it from really far away, it's kinda hard to see all of the wrongs with it. So it like has this illusion of being in scale. But if you move closer to it and closer, and ooh, the whole illusion simply falls apart. At least all those aerial bot ports can mount siege effects on them. Don't move in tightly, but they can sit on him, so you can imagine like a full-size attack on Broadside. Now, let's move into the mode that gives Broadside night terrors. The jet mode, known also as one of the most controversial molds. People are wondering how the hell he goes from an aircraft carrier to an aircraft that is supposed to be carried by an aircraft carrier. From what I remember, it was explained in the Dreamwave comics that he is kind of like an origami. He has a really heavy armored plane and a paper-thin ship. But I also remember that somebody on Instagram, sorry I don't remember the name, reinterpreted this old mode as some flying fortress, which I kinda like. Now onto the toy. This mode is the thing that caused me to do the tail fin flip, since if you look at the official pictures, they simply look wrong. Blunderbuss in this mode can use the cockpit now with some little sense. But I personally always use it as more of a aerial bot storage area, so they won't disappear and I will need to rebuy them on eBay for like 7 billion bucks. I'm 100% sure those accessories will become rare and pricey with time, since they are fragile and small. Or he can always sit in the gun chair, where the crotch port from the robot mode now kinda makes sense. But I don't know who would want to sit here when this is zooming around in the air. For me, this mode is also really average. The front side looks okay, but the back, this clunkfest simply, this is the only way I can describe it. Maybe if they would mold in like some jet intakes here, it wouldn't look that bad. Now let's compare Broadside with Fling 30 Sandstorm, Siege Smashdown Hammer Mode, and my boy Magazine Bumblebee. So, final words, Broadside is really average. I personally bought him just to finish off my triple changer Autobots, but I can see why many people skipped him. They're waiting for some bigger versions. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out all my social media, and don't forget, thank you all for liking and subscribing. Hope you will stick around. If you will watch more, I will for sure try to make some more memes and animations. Also, sorry I'm kinda late for this video. Bye. And just as I finish recording this, here, one of those jet aerial bots, I noticed I missed them and they aren't there. I'm telling you, they will be sucked up by a bunch of rocks in years. Save them. Or at least scan them to make like a 3D model. Never mind.